Hi, my name is Kelly Welsh, and this is my presentation for Reading 325, Research-Based Remediation Strategies. This professional development session is intended for teachers in the kindergarten through second grade band and will help them to implement reading interventions and remediation in order to best educate their students. In order to best implement these practices for our students, it's important to understand the difference between intervention and remediation. Reading intervention occurs as soon as a student shows signs that they may be struggling to read. It's largely preventative and can occur at several different levels of intensity. Typically, it targets specific skills where the student may have deficits, such as phonics, vocabulary, or comprehension. This intervention generally takes place in a small group setting and includes regular progress monitoring. This may look like using something after summative assessments are given. Students would be placed in different groups to work on targeted skills. For example, there may be a group of 5 students who all need to work on comprehension skills. They would be pulled into a smaller group to participate in activities to actively work on their comprehension. This may include short stories with questions and extra prompts to get them to find the answer that they're looking for, or activity pages with work geared towards comprehension. Reading remediation, on the other hand, is implemented when a student is significantly behind their peers and needs intense instruction in order to get back on track. When students have reached this level of intervention, they will most likely receive a level of support that goes beyond small group instruction, including special education services. For our students in need of reading remediation, they would be pulled into a special education classroom for their reading minutes, where students with similar levels are brought together to work on content that may be below their grade level peers. This may include shorter, more simplified texts, phonological instruction, or one-on-one reading time with individualized feedback. There are 2 common reading assessments that can be administered to kindergarten through second grade students in order to determine the appropriate remediation strategies. These can include oral reading fluency assessments, in which the student will read a grade level passage for 1 minute, and the teacher will record important data, such as words read per minute, accuracy rate, expression, phrasing, punctuation use, and types of errors that the students may use. This should be implemented about once a week and will help the teachers to record data on accuracy, fluency, speed, decoding, and other important factors of reading. Based on the student's performance in these areas, the teacher can adjust instruction accordingly. REA is another assessment tool that can be used to build literacy skills. REA is a reading program that uses diagnostics and regular formative assessments to tailor its instruction to each individual student and provide them with the appropriate levels. It adjusts its difficulty in real time and provides personalized instruction and assessment on topics such as phonics, phonological awareness, vocabulary development, reading comprehension, and fluency. REA is data-driven, allows teachers to monitor their students' progress overall, as well as in specific skill areas such as decoding, comprehension, and fluency. Once these deficits have been identified, students should be connected to outside resources such as REA Kids, which is an online resource that provides hundreds of books on different levels, along with comprehension quizzes and progress tracking. Students can listen to the book in order to hear proper pronunciation and fluency, then read on their own, and finally complete a quiz demonstrating understanding. Foundations is another resource that is based on the Orton-Gillingham approach and provides systematic phonics instruction, focusing on skills such as phonemic awareness, phonics, decoding, spelling, and vocabulary. Students follow a routine in which all of these skills are practiced through multisensory approaches, such as skywriting, sound tapping, and letter formation practice. Reading remediation can occur in several different settings, depending on the severity of students' needs. Tier 1 would occur in a general education classroom. The student would receive targeted support and differentiated instruction in the general education setting. This may include the use of graphic organizers, explicit vocabulary instruction, preferential seating, or teacher modeling, and is appropriate for students who are slightly below grade level. In Tier 2, students move to more small group intervention. The student would receive targeted instruction in a small group setting, receiving instruction on specific skill sets such as decoding, comprehension, or vocabulary. This would occur several times a week and would be appropriate for students that are moderately below their grade level peers and not making progress with Tier 1 supports. Tier 3 In Tier 3, students receive one-on-one or pull-out instruction. The student would receive extremely individualized instruction, such as explicit instruction in phonics, fluency, and comprehension. This type of instruction is used for students with severe needs who have not shown adequate progress with either Tier 1 or Tier 2 interventions. Once students have been identified as needing remediation, they should be provided with several different strategies in order to improve their reading. These can include things such as multisensory phonics instruction. Incorporating phonics instruction with multisensory inputs can be very useful for students with reading challenges. For example, students can trace letters in the sand while saying their name, tap out phonemes while reading, use Elkanine boxes, or build words with magnetic tiles. Students should also participate in repeated reading. Students would read a grade level text multiple times in order to develop automatic word recognition and build their confidence. Some of the strategies that we discussed can also be implemented at home by parents or guardians with minimal guidance from the teacher. For example, parents can participate in repeated reading at home with their child. The parents can model reading to their student and then have the child read the passage themselves several times throughout the week until they become more fluent. This can be done after a teacher models the strategy to the parents and provides a brief explanation. Parents can keep documentation by recording how long it took the child to read the passage, counting the number of errors with each repeated read, or jotting down notes about how their child improved their reading each time. Parents can also incorporate REAS Kids at home. Teachers can assign books for students to read on REAS Kids at home, and parents can be provided with simple instructions as to how to access the program at home, how much time their child should spend on it each day. The program itself will collect all necessary data and be accessible to the teacher. By implementing these assessments, strategies, and progress monitoring, we can provide the necessary support to our students with unique reading abilities and needs.